Hello and welcome to a beer with Wraggy. And as you can see, I'm actually pouring the beer out. This is actually the Guinness clone. It's actually turned out pretty decent, actually. I've been sampling it at night. And there's no, it's only like 4.5%, 5% ABV. So not the strongest of beers, got to be honest. But it's been pretty decent. So tonight's a beer with Wraggy. Which I think will be more staple going forward on the channel. I think myself, I think moving. I love doing beer reviews. Don't get me wrong, but the price of beer is put me off massively. And even your brewers that you absolutely love and their hype beers, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't give an absolute toss. Some of these breweries now, what I can't understand is you get a 10% beer from a brewery and it's, what is it? I don't know. Say it's £5 or £6. A great craft beer brewery. Another brewery is £14. And it's like, there's no difference in how they've done their beers. There's no difference in the base imperial stouts. They're great, and it's something that needles me a little bit. It's like, there's a lot of profit, and maybe one's doing it and making no profit, and the other one's doing it because they've got to pay. And I do get that. It's I'm not daft, but it does beg the question. But anyway, yeah. So this beer with Wraggy, what beer kits to brew? We're in 2024, which sounds absolutely bonkers. Fucking 2024, Jesus Christ! I will be 53 this year. I would have thought I was 53 actually, but there you go. The weird thing, I thought I was 53 for a while, and I'm actually only 52. I still feel fucking old. And when I take the hat off, I feel really old with the grey hair. But and sometimes with days, just these last few weeks coming back into work after having 2.5 weeks off, I'm really feeling the cold, the aches and pains. But anyway, I'm going back into homebrewing. More so than just buying a shitload of fucking beer to review. There will be, I've got to be honest, there's going to be a lot less beer reviews on the channel. There'll still be some, but it won't be anything like it has been. But more beer with Wraggies. I think that's a fantastic. I think the beer with Wraggies actually do well, and it gets people talking. Whereas a beer review sometimes can it's a start and it's chocolate. And yeah. There's enough people doing beer reviews anyway of every single new release out there, and I've got to be honest. I'm looking at the beer kits, the cheap beer kits, and seeing if they're still relevant in 2024, and maybe going back and reviewing some of these and brewing and reviewing some of these beer kits just to see. Now, I know how to brew a beer kit. I know how to leave it. And in this day and age, surely even the cheaper beer kits have still got to do the job that they're intended to do, be it a best bitter. Not taste, home brewery. So my question to people out there, the home brewers out there, this is, are there beer kits that you would advise me to brew, and whether to leave them as brew them straight, you know, like a best bitter, brew it as it is, or to add a hop to it, or to add something to it to perk it up a bit. I've got my plum porter kit from St. Peter's over there. And like I say, I'm thinking of banging in a bag of sugar, not going too silly. 1 bag of sugar and maybe 1 bottle of port, just to keep the prices down, because, you know, it's that time of the year, you know, you until I get to the summer months and I'm earning a nice wallop, it's that time of the year. But a bottle of port, a litre bottle of port, you know, it doesn't have to be anything expensive, you know, like an Audi port, £7 for, I don't know, 700 mils, whatever it is. Chuck it into to you know, do the brew, 35 pints, chuck a bottle of port in, bump the ABV up with a bag of sugar. So instead of being 5%, it'll probably be 6.5%. Chuck a bottle of port in, and just to see, you know, see like a port plum porter. But then there's other things I can do and want to do. Evil Dog. I think Evil Dog is probably one of the best kits on the market. And with that, I want to play with hops. Not use the hops that come with it at all. So brew it, but on the cold side, chuck hops in, and just see what happens, really, you know, and seeing, you know, and again asking the community, what have you done with your beer kits? I want to give the cheaper beer kits a plug. I want to go for them. I want to see. I had an issue with Cooper's and their ginger. Simply Ginger is fucking amazing. I think it's one of the best beer kits on the market. Plus you can play around with it. I was thinking of doing Simply Ginger beer and then the Simply Stout. I think it's a Simply Irish Stout or Simply Stout. Brewing both of them together and doing a ginger stout. And so I'm brewing them both together. And this is where if you can get kits, you know, cheap. I'll tell you a shop to look out for online. Creative Winemaking from Ilkeston. They do some kits fucking ridiculously cheap at times. God, it's really hazy above here. But yeah, I really want to do something different. Yeah, I've had all these beers, and yeah, all these breweries doing their thing, and I think to myself, do you know something? I want to do my thing. Yeah, I want to brew my own and see how it goes. If it turns out shite, obviously the cleansing side of things, I'm always going to be bob on with that because it's the way I am. But obviously, you know, checking the old hydrometer and getting it to brew, and you know, and then looking at the old styles of beers. I mean, let's be fair. You can get. I mean, I don't know what the cheapest kits are these days because obviously price has gone up. 12, 13 quid for a kit, if they are still that price. Bag of sugar, quid. So say 14 quid for the cheapest kits on the market. 40 pints, 35 pence a pint. You know, you can't sniff that, can you? Sniff at it rather. Oh. This is what I'm thinking of, you know. It'd be good to hear feedback from people. What they brewed recently, the cheaper kits, and what's worked out well. I mean, the expensive kits, you expect to get a good brew, but the cheaper kits, what cheap kits could you advise me to brew in 2024? And what kits to avoid as well, because there's bound to be some of the kits that are ropey, that you've had bad experiences with. But I'd be fucking interested to see what cheap kits, because everyone's got a budget. I'm no different to anybody else out there. I have got a budget. You know, we've got to pay for stuff. The wife spends money like confetti, whereas I struggle. But it is what it is on that side, I think. Fucking dog gets 25 quid spent on treats last week at this pet shop, and I'm like, 25 quid? That's 6 pints. But you know where I'm coming from. But yeah, I really do want to try and you know, and again with the cheaper kits, can you bump the ABV up? What's the experiments people have done? I'm really looking forward to hearing what people have done. And not only that, not only am I, but people who've had success with beers and changed the kits. Where have you gone with it? What have you added? What have you done different? Yeah, it's so interesting, and to replicate what people have done in a brew myself, going back down, you know, trad beer avenue in some ways with beer kits, and cheaper beer kits. I mean, at the moment though, saying about cheap beer kits, the Bulldog range of beer kits are all at $19.99 over at Creative Winemaking, which is a decent price. $19.99. That's a good price. Definitely tempted at the end of the month to get the Evil Dog again. I'm not bothered about the Bad Cat Red Ale. I've had too many issues with that kit. Brewed it twice. Both times it turned out shit for me. One was 100% my fault. Wrong time of the year. Second one, God knows what went off. I just don't think I can brew red ale. But I'm looking at their other kits, and I really want to not just kits, but like grain brewing as well. I really want to, you know, go a bit further and just see what's out there, really, and see what I can do. So, if anybody's got any kits that they'd like to see me try, cheap kits, or cheap kits they've done, and you know, and if you've changed anything, let me know. This is the time. Cheers all. We're going back into homebrew. And when you think about it, although there's some amazing breweries here that I absolutely love, when you're paying £6 for a can of beer, maybe not on that side, but there's some that say £6 for a can. And for 12, 15 quid, you can brew 40 pints. You know, you've got to look at the. I've supported breweries for years on this channel, but you know, we've all got our own budgets in mind. Plus I like having a pint in the pub as well. So that's my beer with Wraggy. Be interesting to get the feedback. Cheers all.